Boaty, and I source underpants for people on a professional basis.
Name's Roger Boaty. Mr. George Roger Boaty.
Good evening, and thank you for joining me here at Windy Bum, where I am coming live in your eyes and ears. Now then, I'm delighted to be here with you, and firstly, let me tell you, I'm going to put a time limit on tonight, and this live stream will cease to operate as a viable live stream at precisely 30 minutes past midnight. I repeat, this live stream will self-destruct at 30 minutes past midnight. Thank you. I will now read your comments and respond to them in a witty and amusing fashion. Thank you. The responding to comments in a witty and amusing fashion will begin now. Thank you. Jimmy Quinn says hi, and I say hi, Jimmy Quinn. Great to see you. Steve Cole, welcome. Wonderful to have you with us. Roger Boaty's off. Laters, Roger Boaty. Trace is here. How splendid. What a joy. Ah, dear. I dreamt about you last night. Did you? No, you wouldn't let me. Never mind, eh? Bad Books, good evening to you. KKC, hello. Underscore. KKC says, I should start a singles club. Well, KKC obviously doesn't know that I launched the UK Singles Network, the UK's largest singles community, in 2016. And it is still going relatively strong. The main community group has, I think, certainly over 10,000 members. and I own a dating website. So been there, done that, KKC, and kind of still doing it too. In fact, some of the lovely people that you have chatted to on these live streams actually came from Shingles. He's bleeding late again, even though he was literally here online. Well, pardon me, I needed a wee. Shoot me at dawn for having a private moment of urination. What do you want me to do? Sit here and wet myself for your amusement? Honestly. No, I wasn't swapping accounts. Contrary to popular belief, I am not George Boaty or anybody else. I am just me. I do have another YouTube account, actually. And it is, what is it? Oh, it's one I've had for years and years and years. Never done anything. There's one video on it, actually. There is one video on it that I forgot about. I actually did a YouTube video, oh God, a long time ago, like 10 years or something ago. And it's me driving a Lexus Sora. And I think that channel is called Pews, I think. But that's all that's on it. Just that one video. I am definitely not Mr. Boaty, Mr. George Boaty. Looking for my pants of joy. Yes, you may not have noticed this, viewers, but I am currently wearing some underpants on my head. Thank you. What's the instrumental? Oh, that's the bit of music that I play at the beginning of the live stream, and I play it on my on some of my that came out of nowhere, and I play it on some of my videos as well. It hasn't got any like wordy singy bits on it. That's why it's known as an instrumental. No, there isn't a bit of a skid mark near the paint site. These are clean. These are freshly laundered, I'll have you know. Oh, a message health review. How exciting. Oh, that's a good one, Matt, actually. Yeah. Well, pants are for keeping nuts in. Yeah, I'll give you that. Corpse swap at 12:30. Go for it. I don't care. Corpse swap away to your heart's content. I actually started to think about it then. I mean, I've mentioned this before. I've mentioned that in times gone by, it was a perk of the executioner that if they executioned a female lady woman, then it was their privilege to, well, you know, quite frankly, podger them immediately after the execution. That would be a bit weird if you'd beheaded them, wouldn't it? And I have a question. Why is beheading called beheading? Why is it not called deheading? Because you're taking somebody's head off. And are there any other words that have be before them in order to make that word mean that you're removing the second part of the word? So like if you take your trousers off, are you be-trousering? I would like to know that, please. Somebody tell me, somebody clever. Tonight I will be mostly responding using my voice. How's Boaty? I'm fine, thank you. I'm okay. I'm tired. I'm not fine. I'm really pissed off. Really pissed off. That video that I put out tonight, that I put a lot of work into, and was supposed to be my big breakthrough video, the first one to do really big numbers and bring me loads of subscribers and fame and fortune and really good things, it's doing fucking dreadfully. It's my worst performing video unless you include Boaty's Noshes. And let's face it, the Boaty's Noshes videos are about as popular as gonorrhea. It's doing terrible numbers. And I'm really, really annoyed about it. And I might give all of this up and take up a career in professional basket weaving, or start the spanking channel that I was talking about on Mustard's channel. Huge thanks to my colleague Captain Mustard for his great live stream. I enjoyed it and so did you. Can't wait until next Tuesday, 10 o'clock. Tune in. Ugh. Okay, says Grace, I'll bite. Why the headpants? That is an interesting question, Tracy. And in return, I would like to ask you one. Why do people think that it's okay to drink milk when they're grown-ups? Oh, Liz is here and says, hello, what's that on your head? Hello, Liz, welcome. I'm so glad that you're with us. And on my head, I have a pair of my underpants. And thank you for taking an interest. Trace says, fucking hell, the pants look even funnier now. He scratched his head. Boaty's joined the Masons. He looks like he should be in a dungeon in Ukraine. No, I never was in a dungeon in Ukraine. I managed to avoid that. In fact, all of the time that I lived in Ukraine, I wasn't once arrested, and I'm very proud of that. In Ukraine, I have a clean sheet, which is nice. Ah, splendid. I am enjoying this. It's going awfully well, isn't it? Now then. Oh, you need pencils up your nose as well. Yeah, that was a splendid episode of Blackadder, was that? Wibble. The mystery of George Rotterboty, Mr. George Rotterboty's true identity eludes us still. Yeah, we don't know, and in a sense, it's kind of funnier that we continue not knowing. Liz has followed up to her previous comment by making another comment, and I am now going to read out that comment. I'm going to read it fully, I'm going to read it frankly, and I'm going to inject a welcome note of sincerity. Here goes. Why have you got pants on your head, Boaty? That is a very interesting question, Liz. And in response, if I may, I would like to ask you one. Why do people think that it's acceptable to season their food without tasting it first? Steakhulk is phoning the police. Palpatine. Google him. Okay. I haven't watched the vid yet, says Trace. Had a stressful evening. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Trace. Is there anything I can do to de-stress you? Would you like me to bring you a glass of something? Would you like a nice dessert? Would you like me to tickle you until you squeal and wet yourself slightly? I'm here for you if you need me. Let the vid brew, might be a slow grower. Well, I'm bloody hoping so, Trace. You know, I'm hoping that it's a little bit different than my normal stuff, so maybe needs a different audience. Or that, you know, I put it out there on Valentine's night where people might be doing other things. But it might just not be gonna do crap. And if it is, I'm gonna be so annoyed that I'm going to deliberately make even worse videos than I currently do as a form of dirty protest. I shall go back to doing bog reviews and filming flatulence and anything else ghastly that I can imagine. KKC says, I'll watch a video tomorrow. 30 minutes is a big ask. Keep it to 20. Well, I couldn't because there was too much good stuff in it. I do try to keep the videos down a little bit now. And yeah, 20 minutes is about the figure that I go for, but I thought when it's a super special one, like driving a fairly rare car that has a load of childhood meaning to you, and, you know, introducing somebody new to the screen and whatnot, I thought I could push the boat out to 30 minutes. Views are down due to a lack of live streams. Actually, in all fairness, that is actually true to a certain extent. I mean, the one thing live streams most definitely do is they whack the old views up. So I wonder which leg hole I'm looking out of. I'd love to know if this is the left leg hole or the right leg hole. Let's have a competition. Guess whether I'm looking out of the left or the right leg hole, and at some point I'll do a reveal. All good things come to those who wait. How fucking long have I got to wait though? I agree, milk as well. It's sheer weirdness. Yes, of course it is. Milk is delicious, says Matt. Well, yeah, it is if you're a child suckling on your mother's teat. That's what milk is designed for. But, you know, when you cease being a child and teat suckling becomes somewhat inappropriate, like when you're in your early 30s, well, at least suckling on your mother's teat is inappropriate. I mean, you know, you could suckle on a stripper's teat by all means. Go for it. You know, fill your boots. Swipe your credit card down her arse crack and help yourself to some cash back from the front for all I care. But when you're a grown-up, you're not supposed to drink the baby juice. You're supposed to drink wine and Vimto and chilled water and that sort of thing. Don't smoke, kids? Absolutely. I only do it to stunt my growth. I've got an abnormal growth hormone. I get a prescription for 80 cigarettes a day. If I didn't smoke them, I would be over 8 feet tall and I wouldn't fit in any car. Best way to avoid arrest, don't get caught. I agree. In Ukraine, did you hide in a dustbin like Top Cat? No, I've only ever hidden in a dustbin, as I told you last night, in Drake's Cross near Withall. I never hid in a dustbin in Ukraine, although arguably I should have, and I might not have been quite so hideously attacked by the mafia. I wish I'd been hiding in a bin then. Oh, controversy. Trace says, and this is directed at KKC, which you couldn't say on Just a Minute because it would be a repetition of K and you'd lose a point. Somebody would interrupt you. I disagree, read 20 or 30 minutes. Some videos need to be longer. I'm happy to watch a 30-minute video if it engages me. Yeah, well, I kind of agree with that. I think that you've both got a point, to be completely honest. You know, I think that videos can drag on a bit too long, but when they're engaging, or you feel that they're engaging, then you kind of have to go with it. You know, I have split videos into 2 or 3 parts before now, and Simon has ripped the absolute piss out of me for that. Let's just have a sniff of these, shall we? I'm trying to work out. I actually went into my pants drawer to look for my sex pants because I thought it might be nice to wear my sex pants on Valentine's night. But I'd completely forgotten that I'm a little bit behind on the laundry again, and I had to launder my sex pants the other night, and I haven't quite got round to actually pressing the button on the washing machine, so my sex pants weren't there. But there were 3 pairs of pants that were there that I didn't think should be there or would be there. I thought they'd all gone, and this is one of them. And I was very, very surprised to see them there. Now, I vaguely remember why I gave up on these and replaced them with 3 new pairs. And I'll try and share it with you. Let me see now. Now, not sure if you'll see this, but you can see in the gusset there, it's becoming, really quite threadbare. I mean, there is an actual hole there, and believe me, I've got experience in this. That hole is only going to get bigger. But if you look in the whole gusset region, oh, happy times, then it's all a bit threadbare. And the elasticity is not quite what it was. And this really annoyed me. And this happened almost from new. It's got like a fold in the elastic. And no matter what I did, I was never able to get that fold out. And it was really annoying. So I've got 3 pairs of pants that I'd completely forgotten that I had. I thought I didn't have them. If you look from the outside, you can see the sort of thread. I mean, look, you can see right through them. But there is no question that these would function as a pant in an emergency situation. So, on the whole, I'm quite happy about that. And this particular pair, being kind of red, they're not red like my sex pants are red, but these would just about be an acceptable kind of backup reserve pair of sex pants. Although they're not as skimpy. My sex pants are skimpier than these. Yeah, but there you are. There you are. It's all good content, isn't it? This is the kind of thing you tune in for. And who can blame you? You are the most discerning of viewers, and that's why I'm so terribly fond of you. Marvellous. Right, where did I get to? Did you all enjoy Mustard's live stream? I hope you did. It's wonderful that you're supporting him. It's really annoying that he gets double my numbers. One day I'll have that, Mustard. One day I will have a better performing live stream, and I will have a video with more views, and in a month I will earn more money. One day it'll happen. I might have to cheat somehow and, I don't know, trip him up in a YouTube sense, give him some really bad advice. Anyway, where did I get to? An interesting question from Skip. If you had to give one piece of advice to someone, what would it be? That's an interesting one. It would kind of depend on who they were and what their situation was in life, and what, if anything, was concerning them at that time, or what they needed to make a decision about, or because I would try and give them a bespoke piece of advice that was pertinent to them, rather than just a generic, general piece of advice. Because all generic pieces of advice, they tend to be slightly fatuous, don't they? What can you say? Live every day as if it was your last. Never go to bed on an argument. Well, tricky when you live alone. I don't know, I can't think of any really good general pieces of advice. Oh, maybe I can. Yeah, maybe I can. You're probably familiar with a poem which allegedly is anonymous and was found in Old St. Paul's Church, Baltimore in 1832. Although I don't believe that for a second. I firmly believe that it was deliberately written at much more recently and kind of made it into folklore. But it's nonetheless worthwhile for that. And if you hadn't guessed, you've probably seen this on a tea towel or something. But it's something called desiderata. And there is a line from that I would give as advice. And in fact, it's 4 simple words. No, it's not. No, it's 6 words. And those words are, be careful, strive to be happy. And that's probably as good as advice as I could give in a very general, generic sense. It pays to be careful. And I firmly believe that everybody should strive to be happy. People say they want to be happy. People say they want lots of things. I've got a singles group full of people who want a relationship, but they're not willing to do anything to help to make it happen, to actually work towards it. And happiness is like that. Unless you're incredibly fortunate, happiness is very unlikely to come along and just sit on your lap. You have to at least meet it halfway, and for many of us, you have to fight for it. And why wouldn't you? If you want something badly enough, bloody well fight for it. You look like me at bedtime, it's cold. Tell you what, it's been nice and warm today. It was like 11 degrees here. And then when I was driving to work, I went to work in Stigberg tonight, which was a huge mistake. A huge mistake. Not that there's anything wrong with Stigberg, just that he's not a great car to drive for short journeys, stop-start and around town, because it's a very heavy car. The clutch is heavy, the gear change is heavy. He's a big old lump of a thing to manoeuvre about, and he's not great for that sort of use. And I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that I need to start making sure that the cars are used for a reasonable period of time, at least once a week, to get their batteries up. So on the quiet nights, I've started taking Stigberg or Shison to work. And Tuesday's a night where I normally take Stigberg because fuck all happens, we just do prep. But I forgot that tonight was Valentine's night. The restaurant was heaving. There were a shed load of deliveries to do, and Genius here didn't tell the driver to come in. Completely forgot about it. Completely forgot about Valentine's Day. Didn't have a date or anything today, my lovelies. No time. I was editing that bloody video that's doing shit all day, and then whizzed off to work. And I could have done something after work, but I didn't fancy it. I was too tired, to be honest. And what was I talking about? Yeah, so I had to go out doing deliveries tonight in bloody Stigberg, which was uncomfortable and profligately expensive on bloody fuel. And Matt, you know the one that I took you on? I had that again tonight in Stigberg. That cost me about 15 bloody quid, didn't it? But at least, the batteries are being kept on top of, and I'm gradually creeping up. Oh, hey, now, Monday, you might know that the Tesco that's like 2/3 of the way to Mustards in Mottram, Hattersley, whatever it's called, that's considerably cheaper than here. So on yesterday, Monday, I actually filled up Brian Johnston, filled him right up to the brim. I felt like a millionaire. Yeah, because I'm fed up. It's not a good idea to run your cars low on petrol. It's not a good idea if you've got a Rover 75 or ZT, because they've got a complex dual fuel pump system, which hates having less than a quarter of a tank, and they will self-destruct. But you shouldn't run your petrol low in any older car, because Most, not all, I'm trying to think of an exception, and I think a Rover 45 might be an exception, but most fuel tanks are made of steel, and as we know, steel will rust and fuel tanks will rust, and that means that you'll get rust particles in your fuel tank, and they will normally, due to their they will tend to gravitate towards the bottom of the tank. But if you run your fuel really low, then you stand an increased chance of sucking them through and blocking up your fuel filter. So I'm trying to now, of course, if you've got money, it's not a problem. You just go out, fill your car with petrol, and when it gets, wherever you want to say, half a tank, quarter of a tank, whatever, you fill it up again, and that's great. But I've got the money to do that. So what I'm doing is that each time I take a car out, I'm trying to put a little bit more petrol in it than I use, on the basis that then eventually they'll have a full tank. Might take a year or two, but I kind of thought that yesterday, because the fuel was that much cheaper, it's 143.9 for standard unleaded at my Sainsbury's. Not that I use standard, not that I use the E10, I use the E5. But that's like the headline price, so it's easier to talk about it in those terms. Now, my local Tesco, it's 150.9. That's in Claycross. In Ripley, the Sainsbury's is 143.9, but at that Tesco, it was 138.9. 138.9, my lovelies. So, and because of this fuel thing I've been doing, he already had some fuel in, did Brian, so he wasn't like totally empty. And I thought, sod it. It's very easy when you're poor. It's very easy to make things more expensive without, sometimes through necessity, sometimes through lack of thought. And, you can normally save money by buying in bulk, economies of scale, all of that sort of thing. So, although I didn't really have the money to do it, I thought I'd fill up, because ultimately I'm going to use that petrol, right? It's going to get used, obviously. And if I didn't fill up, then all I would be doing would be, through the week, or whenever I use that car, I'm going to be putting more expensive petrol in it. And that's silly. So I decided I'd fill it up, and it cost me £52. But I did it, and there are few feelings as satisfying as having that full fuel tank showing. It's a wonderful thing, because it gives you two amazing things in life. It gives you security, and it gives you opportunity. And those are wonderful things. So you've got the security of knowing that you've got a full tank of fuel. So whatever happens, if you run out of money, if you've got no money, you can get to work. If you have an emergency, you don't have to worry about not having the petrol. You don't have to worry about not having the money to put petrol in. You don't have to worry about being late because you're low on petrol and you have to stop at a fuel station. It's just all round a tremendous feeling of security. But it also gives you opportunity, because no matter how skint you are, even if it's taken almost all of your available funds, once you've spent that money, it's gone, and you kind of don't think about it. You don't think about the money that's gone. You think about the money that you've got, or you think about the money that you haven't got that you need to have. But you don't think about that money that's gone. So you're just in the situation you're in. You don't think, yesterday I had 100 quid, now I've only got 40 quid. You think, well, I've got 40 quid. Is that enough? what bills are going out tomorrow. Am I going to have to go to the post office and make an emergency sacrifice to the gods of the overdraft because I'm going to go over my overdraft limit? Those are the things that you think about. But you've got that magical thing. You've got a tank of fuel. So that means that on your next day off, you could go to the seaside because you've forgotten about that money. You've got a tank of fuel, and that's an amazing thing, right? If you're having a bad day or whatever, it's in the bank. It's in the bank. You could go to the seaside. You could have a wonderful drive, treat yourself. You don't have to spend money. You've already got your tank of fuel. You take some of your favourite music, you make it a treat, you make yourself some sandwiches or take a flask of hot water and a pot noodle or whatever you've got lying about so that you don't have to have your trousers and pants taken down for fish and chips at the seaside that maybe you haven't got the money for anyway. And you can just go and have a fabulous day out. So that is why a full tank of fuel is a wonderful thing. And one of my aims for this year is by the end of the year, I would like to have a full tank of fuel in all of my cars. And that's quite a big thing for me. Because it's not something that I've traditionally done. Now, initially, I didn't used to do it because there was a very strong chance that I would have sold the car before I used the fuel. You know, that's back in the day when I was buying and selling, 1, 2, 3 cars a day, and that's personal cars, not business cars. I was terrible for keeping cars. And then latterly, I've not filled fuel tanks because because there was a very strong chance that the car would break down and be scrapped before I managed to use all of the fuel. But that, you know, first one, oh my God. Oh. But now that I've settled into the MG Rover life, then I've kind of, as you know, I've kind of committed to these cars. So they're not going anywhere and I'm trying to keep on top of them. So I'm not ignoring problems. I'm trying to gradually improve them wherever possible when funds allow. And I'm certainly absolutely committed to keeping them on the road, as you know. So I can feel more comfortable with investing in a full tank of fuel. But as I say, I can't afford to just go out and do it. Would be nice if I could, but I can't. So I'm having to do it drip, 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 drip. And that, you know, that's like building up your savings. That's quite a nice thing. You know, it's nice to get a little glow when you look in you get in your car, turn the ignition on, and you're hoping that there's enough fuel there to get you to the petrol station, because that's the way my life has been for a number of years now. And there's that kind of anticipatory fear of, and you turn the ignition on and inside you're saying, please let there be enough fuel to get me to the fuel station. Obviously the fuel light's going to be on, but please let the needle be at the top of the fuel light, not down at the bottom. And now you get into a car and ignition on and boom, almost half a tank, and you think, wow, that's amazing. And then you think, well, today I'm probably going to use 10 quid of fuel, but if I can manage to put 20 in, then next time I come to this car, it'll have over the half a tank. And that's great. It's like picking up your piggy bank and feeling how heavy it's got because you've been saving all of your 50p's. And I mean, it's kind of sad that a man who is in his bloody 50s, when I should be comfortable and not worrying about shit, and a man who has not been entirely useless all of his life and has enjoyed a modicum of success and financial comfort. It's kind of sad that at my age I'm scratting about for fucking pennies. But I'm still happier than I was when I was married and had money and properties. And I was talking about this to Mike, Classic R Wales. Well, I don't know if I can tell you that because that's talking about him and that was a conversation between us. But we've done some similar things in life and had the same results from it. Anyway, there we are. Seasoning food without tasting first is uncouth and lazy. It is never acceptable. This is Liz, and she's quite right. The answer to your question is beyond my remit to answer. I hate people. I've talked about it many times before. I hate people who season my food without tasting it first. Now, because that is just saying that you're a crap cook and you don't know how to season food. Now, that might not be what it's really meant. They might know that they prefer food to be seasoned outside of the norm. They might like an unhealthy amount of salt, or they might have a predilection for ground pepper, as I do. But at least taste it first. This used to annoy me with my wife. Now, I cook without salt, and I don't add salt when I cook for myself. I don't add salt to, well, actually, for years and years and years I didn't. I'll have a little grind of Himalayan salt on chips now as a treat. But for many, many years, I was completely salt-free. But my wife had a very salty palate. Make your own jokes there. Oh, she did actually. Oh God, that's brought back a memory. Oh, the flat in Cook Hill. Yeah. Oh, happy days. But she had a very salty palate, and I knew this. So when I cooked her food, I used to salt it according to her preference, and she would add salt to it without tasting it first. And I thought, well, that's kind of making a mockery of the thought that I've put in and the effort that I've put in. So don't do that. At least taste the food before you season it, please. Worst videos, look like I'll get a second. Matt, your video did really well, mate. The vid with you in did good numbers, by my standards, not by anybody else's. But yeah, that did perfectly good numbers, no issue. It's pissed all over tonight. I'm really annoyed about that. If that doesn't pick up over the next couple of days, I'm genuinely going to question what the sodding hell I'm doing. Because that's like a proper video. Okay, there's a bit of arsing about in it, I suppose, but it's a proper video. It's a proper classic car. A 1965 Fiat 500F, 30,000 kilometres from new. Left-hand drive, import from Sicily. Family owned from new. It's a proper car, and we drove it properly, and we talked about actual stuff that people might be interested in, including technical stuff, engine specs, talking about the brakes, talking about how the camber of the wheels form part of the suspension system, talking about the complete lack of synchromesh on any gears, double declutching. You know, the art of matching the engine revs to get a smooth change without synchro on your gearbox, having a bit of a laugh. You know, it's like a proper video, like the videos that get 50, 60,000 views, or at least I thought it was. Have I had 50 or 60,000 views? Have I balls? I've had 34. 34. Only about 3 more than Boaty's noshes, for God's sake. Oh, dear. I'm not reading that out, Matt. Oh, dear. Remarkable the pair of you fitted in the 500. hilarious pic of the 500 parked between the huge SUVs. I'm glad you picked up on that. I did wonder, I forgot about that little bit of clip, and I put it in the run out sequence with the Italian music. And I thought, actually, afterwards, after I'd uploaded it wasn't live, and I thought, did I drop a bollock there? Should that have been like that should have been the opening pick, shouldn't it? I think it probably should have. So that the first thing that you saw was a genuine insight into just how tiny the car is. Because in that shot, and it wasn't a still actually, it wasn't a still, it's a slow vid that I slowed right down. But that should have been the opening shot, and then it should have gone to Steve showing the car, and you know, his hips being above the roof line of the car. And that's the way I should have. That's my inexperience, and that's rushing to get the video out. And that's another mistake and another sign of inexperience. I should have taken 2 days doing that vid and just not had a vid go out tonight. I've got this weird thing thinking that because I'm not popular, the big boys, even Mustard, he can put a vid out, every 3 or 4 days, and the big boys can do it once a week or once a fortnight, and that's absolutely fine. I've got the thing that because I'm small, I've got to be out there and in people's faces all the time, which means getting a video out every day. But I shouldn't have done it today. I should have taken 2 days making that video perfect, or as near perfect as I can with the footage that I had. The footage was quite inexpert, but that's a financial thing. I haven't got Chinese companies queuing up to give me equipment to use. Well, actually, I have got one Chinese company queuing up to give me equipment to use. Thanks to Mustard. One of the many people chasing after him asked him if he knew of any other YouTube channels that would be interested, and very kindly he gave them me. And somebody said, "Do you want a battery tester?" And I thought, well, yeah, no, not particularly. I've got a micrometer and I've learned how to use it. But obviously, I said, yes, I would love your battery tester. Would you be able to film a video of it within 1 month of you receiving it? Yes, I will, absolutely. And then, not wishing to let an opportunity slip by. And I would like a proper battery tester, I suppose, if it's free. And I will genuinely do a proper review on it. And I'll tell you if I think it's any good. I'm sure it will be. It's a battery tester, My main concern will be, does it come in a nice case? And that will give it extra marks. I would like things that are in nice cases, so they don't have to lie about loose in your tool chest or wherever you keep these things. But yeah, and I said to them, what I really need is I need a really good OBD reader, and I would love a really good battery starter like Mustard's got that he was given. So cheekily, I replied to their email saying that, yeah, I'll absolutely post a video within a month. It'll probably be within a week or 10 days. And I'll also post the content across my other social media to give you an extra market reach of around 20,000 people, which is kind of true, but kind of a misnomer, because I was including singles, and I don't know how many people in singles would be interested in a Chinese battery test, but that's not the point. And I said, I'm also constantly being asked for a heavy duty, top of the range jump starter and a really good OBD reader. I said, do you happen to do these products? Because I would prefer, I would prefer a longer term relationship with a single with a single supplier in order to keep a constant with the consumer. Trying to make it sound all professional, just trying to blag some extra shit basically. And they don't do a battery jumper, but they do OBD readers. So they've promised that once I've posted the video of the battery tester, they're going to send me an OBD reader as well. So that was a worthwhile little cheeky blag, wasn't it? You know, I've upped it from one thing to two things, and that's good. And I'll make no bones about it. Now Mustard, because Mustard, he's many things, is Mustard. He's lovable, he's frustrating, he's annoying, he's the kindest, sweetest man that you could ever meet. He's funny. He's loyal, but he is a man of great principle, and he's told you that he's being offered all of this stuff, and he's very much in two minds, because he's not, being the principled man that he is, he's not going to go on video and tell you that something is a worthwhile product when he doesn't think it is. And he doesn't want to be put in the position of taking money to promote something and then finding that he doesn't actually want to, he doesn't think that it's worthwhile promoting. So he's been humming and hawing and humming and hawing. I'm not going to be like that. I want to get on that gravy train. Whatever anybody offers me, I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it out there. I'll find a way around the principled bit. I mean, there's not much that's shit anymore, is there? I mean, there just isn't. Most things these days work, unless it's an out-and-out scam. A money-gaining scam where they take the money and don't send you anything, or send you a house brick by recorded delivery that's the same weight as the thing that you were supposed to be buying. That's different. But if it's a product, even if it's coming from China, which, let's face it, most things do these days, the chances are it's gonna work. And it might be a little bit preferable for one reason or a little bit less preferable, but it's highly unlikely to be a pig in a poke, and it's probably going to be just as good as the next thing. So anything that comes along that I can blag, I'm going to take it and I'll put it out there, and I'll negotiate a discount so that anybody buying it as a result of watching me, the poor benighted souls, I'll make sure they get a bloody discount on it. But yeah, I'm just, whatever it is. Joanna Lumley is my role model in this regard. I remember her being interviewed by Wogan, and Wogan was talking about adverts, and she says, "Oh, I have a policy. I do them all. If anybody offers me money, I'll do it. I don't care what it is. Water. Have you drunk some? It's amazing." And yeah, I pretty much plan to go if I get big enough, I plan to go down that route of just, do you want some free stuff? Will you talk about it on a video? Yeah, give it to me. Give it to me. I'll talk about it. So that everybody else does it. But I will draw the line somewhere. Lancaster fucking Insurance. Matt's doing them now, isn't he? Matt's taking sponsorship from Lancaster, right? I would never do that. I've got no idea if Matt genuinely insures with Lancaster Insurance, right? But if he does, and he's happy to recommend them, then one of two things is happening. Either because he's a semi-famous YouTuber, he's getting special treatment, or he's just taking the money and telling you to insure with them when he knows that they are shit. And they are shit. In fact, I will do a video quite soon. I was thinking about this, and I will start it. Not sponsored by Lancaster Insurance. And I will tell you exactly why I think Lancaster Insurance are shocking. If you look at the Boaty's World Facebook page, I didn't put it in the group, I put it on the page so I could tag them and they would see it, right? I've got on record from Lancaster Insurance, one of their employees, because they've gone into the online portal now, they will pop up, as they did with me, as the cheapest insurer on at least one comparison site, right? Now, this was a scenario with me. They do the standard insurance thing. They get you in for the first year, give you a great deal, hike your premium when it comes to a renewal. Even though you're getting a year of no claims, your premium will go up, and they hope that you will be too lazy to seek an alternative and just renew, or they will automatically auto-renew you. That's the business model. That's how they make their money. We know this. You can be cute. You can get other quotes, and you can ring them up and you say you're too expensive, and then magically they'll be able to get the premium down to match the other premium that you've found. It's a business model. You can't get too upset about it. It's just, it is what it is. It's how they work. But that happened with me. When on comparison site, Lancaster were the cheapest insurance. So I rang them up and said, right, okay, so how come when I go on this comparison site, you're quoting me half the price that you've quoted me for my renewal? And they've said, oh, let's have a look at that. That's with a company, that's insuring you with a company that either doesn't exist and is a non-existent company, so your insurance would be invalid, or it's a real company, but we don't actually deal with them. So again, your insurance would be invalid. I've got that on record. And that is one of the reasons why I would never take a sponsorship from Lancaster Insurance. Or I'd take the fucking money and then I'd really spread the shit and let them sue me. I'd enjoy that. That would be a day in court that I'd enjoy. And the other thing is less fraudulent and more prosaic, right? Now, if you ring Hegarty, another classic car insurers, you'll get through, in my experience, straight away to somebody who knows exactly what they're doing, who's a genuine car enthusiast, and will deal with you very nicely. You'll still get all of the script that they have to read out, but you won't be on hold for ages, and you won't be talking to some clueless idiot. Ring Lancaster, you'll be on hold for half an hour before you even speak to anybody. Again, this is my experience. And when you do speak to somebody, it's some clueless numbnut working from home for a very low minimum wage, because I strongly suspect that they're aged under 21, so that they can get paid less than the minimum wage for over 21s. They're certainly not classic car enthusiasts. That's for sure and certain. Anyway, kind of gone off the subject there, ranting about things. But yeah, prepare yourself over the next month or so for a video where I test batteries. I don't care. It's free stuff. I want to climb the greasy pole. I want all the free stuff that the big boys get. I want to be given money for holding up a piece of shitty cardboard like Hubnut used to. This video sponsored by whoever it is. I'd do better. I'd at least make the effort to make it digital rather than holding up a piece of fucking cardboard. You watch. This company that is the first to offer me something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it properly. Unless I can, and I've already done some research on the firm, and it all seems completely above board. They're a Chinese company. They sell in the UK market. They sell through Amazon, so your payment is safe. Your delivery is going to be safe and prompt. And if there's any issues with it, you've got the might of Amazon backing you up. So everything that I've found so far says that they're a perfectly stand-up company. So if they're willing to send me free shit, then I'll at least do it properly. I won't tell you that, I won't lie. I won't say this is amazing because this, that and the other. I'll say, you know, this seems to be a perfectly adequate battery tester. It does what it says on the tin, it works. Now, if you can go out and find a cheaper one, that's down to you as the customer, or me, or whoever it is. Although the prices don't seem out there, to be honest. But I'll at least do the job properly and put a digital link in and some digital content rather than just as, you know, other channels who will be nameless. I won't just hold up a piece of fucking cardboard with a company name on it. Bloody hell. Right. Oh God, look at the, right, I went 24 minutes ago. You're imagining this. Oh, sodding hell, I've done it again, haven't I? Right, let's whiz through these comments and then let's all go to bed, shall we? Last one up, turn the light out and budge over and don't steal all the covers. And no food in bed, thank you. Eat before you go upstairs. Where did I get to? Oh, says Trace. I have a lovely glass of wine. My daughter gave me chocks. The evening was only stressful because I had sister crying on the phone, bless her. Trace, have you spoken to Sian? I'm sure she's getting loads and loads and loads of love and support, as will be everybody else. But I saw those music videos she posted. That was a heartbreak, wasn't it? Bless her. Oh, bless her. You can come and drive my daughter's modern 500. You will be glad you own a Rover. Really? Really, KKC? I'll take you up on that. I've never driven a modern 500 or a Ford KA, which are pretty much the same thing, I believe. But that would be interesting to do. And yeah, I understand that they're not without their inherent faults. But you know, that was a clear example of style over substance, wasn't it? Now, I remember Clarkson talking about this. Now, he drove the Ford KA, the newer version, which is a Fiat 500, and he said it was an absolute piece of crap. But at the same time, the Fiat 500 was like the darling car. It was the in car in Monte Carlo and on the Cap d'Antibes, and it was incredibly fashionable, and everybody was going mental for it. But it's the same car as the Ford KA. So he reasoned that the Fiat 500 must also be a bag of crap, but because it looks so cute, and because it harks back to the original 500, people don't care. They just, you know, they fall in love with their eyes, and they choose, well, they just don't notice the things that are wrong with it, or they choose to ignore them. But I genuinely, KKC, I'd take you up on that. I'd love to meet you, and it would give me a reason to go back to my old stamping ground of Redditch, which I would probably enjoy. I've not been there since since my dad's funeral, I suppose, and I didn't hang around then. I went to the Creme, then we popped into the garage to see Dean up in Astor Bank, and that was it. I wouldn't mind, I could even do a video on it. I wouldn't mind doing an overnight on a Monday night there. God, I could stay at that awful place if it's still there. What's it called? The Blue Inn used to be the Campanile. It's like an American motel style. I wonder if that's still there. I wouldn't mind doing that. I stayed there a couple of nights when Dad's place was really bad and I needed to do a 2-day session on it. You know, it was all right for a cheap and cheerful, and I quite liked the different style of layout. It was kind of preferable to a Premier Inn, and the breakfast wasn't bad. So yeah, I wouldn't mind doing an overnight and going around all the old places and catching up. I could make a really boring video about it, of seeing how things have changed, go back to my old showrooms, do all of that. Yeah, that'd be quite good. That'd be quite good. Health review. Quite right, Matt, I agree. Oh, another one, health review. I am indeed full of shit, yes, absolutely. Like it's not normal to drink milk. Well, no, it's not. Not when you're a grown-up. When you're a baby suckling on a tea, yeah. But see, what you've got to remember, all of you milkers, right? You want to talk about what's normal? Let me remind you of something. Now, in today's society, you can go to a supermarket and you can buy milk. Hell, you can even have it delivered to your doorstep, right? Go back a few years, you wanted milk, you had to suckle on a teat. Now, are you seriously telling me that it's normal for somebody in their 40s to suckle on a teat in order to get a drink? Because I don't think it is. You're only fooling yourself that it's normal because you're buying it from a supermarket. But that came out of a teat, right? So there is no way that I can ever think that it's normal as a fully grown adult to rely on suckling on a teat to get your liquid. I mean, you know, go to a waterfall or something. It's just not normal. Milk is for babies. When you're at that stage in life, you need the calcium, you need all of the stuff that's in it. You don't need that as an adult. It's too, you know, like a lot of dairy, there's too much of the bad stuff. It's too fatty and too this, too that, and too the other. But most of all, it's not normal to rely on boobs for a beverage. You know, there's wine. There's wine. What's the point of getting older if you're still going to do things that you did when you were a baby? What are you going to do next while you're drinking your milk? Walk around in a nappy, fouling yourself? No, we move on. We grow up. We drink wine and water, or both. If you get a hangover, if you suffer with hangovers, but you don't want to stop drinking, here's a tip for you. In between every alcoholic drink that you have, drink the same quantity of water, right? Then you won't get a hangover. Hangovers are caused by dehydration to the brain. If you intersperse water with every alcoholic drink and then finish your night off with a pint of water, you'll be absolutely fine. Oh God, all of these messages, health review. Oh God. Bloody hell, Matt. They're funny, but I can't read them out. I just can't. Oh dear. I'm getting used to the pants look. Hope that blah 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 blah. If the presenter is interesting, says Liz, I'll listen for hours, then listen again at a later date. Weird, I know. It's not weird at all, Liz. There are many YouTube videos that I've watched over and over and over again because they're good and I enjoy them. It's obvious. I don't know which leg hole it was. I forgot to check. So you're all right. Oh, Bella. Yeah, we need to sort Bella out. Right, you've been asking about Bella. Nobody's come forward to get her. I've got to message the guy who offered to go and save her, and then I'm going to have to raise some money to pay him. I mentioned that last night. I didn't get it done today. I'll do something about that tomorrow, I promise. Oh, Mickey Jeffries. I enjoyed the Fiat 500 vid. Thank you. Thank you for being one of the 27 people who actually watched it. I'm incredibly grateful. Oh, and Tracy's going to watch it after this. Brilliant. That'll make it 24 people. Oh. Oh, it's from Mustard. Thanks for the shove, Boaty, but I love having you chasing my ass. Oh dear, too many jokes there. It's, oh dear. Oh, I'm not being allowed to show that one, Steve. YouTube won't allow me to show that. It's too filthy. Am I allowed to show this one? Oh, yes. And it's from Matt. And he says, I wanted to be happy, but the fucking casting director said I'm too tall to play a dwarf. Wanker. Fucking hell. You'll be the death of me, Matt. You really will. Underscore is a funny, funny man. Oh dear. It's true for happiness. I think it is, yeah. Oh yeah, back to food. I do talk a lot about food. I can't help it. Did any of the Valentines in the restaurant have a blazing row? No, they were all very well behaved tonight, and they all had the decency to piss off early. It all happened early doors tonight. 1 minute the restaurant was full and we're all running around like we're absolutely batshit crazy. We forgot to get a pot washer as well. We didn't have a porter, we didn't have a pot washer, we didn't have a driver. We all basically forgot that it's a Valentine's Day. We even forgot that we'd put on a special Valentine's Day menu. And when the first customer asked me, what? What special menu? The one you advertised? Oh yeah, that one. I had to go look at the advert, work out what we'd offered people. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, it was a costly journey in Stig, but most petrol tanks are petrol in modern cars, and then he changes that to plastic. Ah, Mustard is picking me up on something. Actually, says Mustard, low fuel doesn't mean sucking up the gunk. The pickup point doesn't change with the amount of fuel. Well, I'm going to take issue with you there, Captain. No, you're correct. The pickup point doesn't alter with the amount of fuel. What does alter with the amount of fuel is the dilution of the floaty-abouty elements in the liquid. So if you've got a full tank of fuel and 10 floaty-abouty things, then you've got a relatively low chance of the floaty-abouty thing being pulled in. But if you've got a much smaller amount of fuel, then you've got much more floaty things per litre of liquid. So you've got a much greater chance of sucking in the detritus. It's simple physics, boy. What are you thinking of? It's like, right, if you've got a 5-pint glass of water with an ice cube in it, the chances are you will be able to take a mouthful of water without imbibing the ice cube. But if you've only got that much water in your glass with an ice cube, and you go to swallow the water, you're going to imbibe the ice cube. Well, that's how fuel tanks work. Yeah, see? Look at me! Look at me showing off with my mechanical knowledge, which I'm actually quite convinced is correct. I'm pretty sure I'm correct in this. Don't forget to like and hit thumbs up. That would be nice. Oh, don't freeze your beverage. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt. Bollocks. I've frozen my wine. My wine is frozen. I've done it again. Brian is probably your most economical car, so it's the best one to have a full tank. Is it the most economical car? Well, I have got another 1.4. Oh, my little wine turd has come out again. I have got another 1.4, but of course that's the 45, which is probably bigger and heavier. So yeah, Brian is probably more economical. But is Brian more economical than Sir Arnold, the 1.9 diesel? There's a question. He is the most economical petrol, I'll grant you that. If you pay at the pump, it's now 120 quid pre-authorization. It's not necessarily 120 quid. It depends how much money you've got in the bank account. It could be 120, but if you've only got 60 available in your account, it'll only authorize 60, or it'll only pre-authorize 60. And yeah, that used to be a great tip for the poverty-stricken. It was free credit. It used to be that you could go to the pay at pump, it'd pre-authorize a penny or whatever it did, and you could put 60 quid in and it wouldn't go out for 2 days. So if you had no petrol the day before payday, or 2 days before payday, you could go and use the pay at pump and get interest-free credit on your petrol. Another little trick that has gone. I use a full tank more quickly than a half tank. Well, that's kind of not possible. Have you put it to Mustard about the auction? I asked Mustard, but he never read my comment. No, he won't want to go. I guarantee you Mustard won't want to go. I mean, I'll ask him. Captain, would you like to go to a car auction in Ellesmere Port? But he won't want to go. It has to be something really big for Mustard to leave the yard. It's like the yard is like his comfort blanket, and he doesn't leave it very often. There has to be a very good reason for him to leave it. It's where he feels safe and warm and worthwhile. He's not one for just gadding about. I mean, he'll go and collect a car, absolutely. He'll go to a car show if it means taking Nigel and people treating him like a demigod. But I can't see him wanting to go to car auctions in Ellesmere Port. Although it would actually make a good video. If we were to go and buy a car from auction, that would actually that would be good content. I would like to go to Ellesmere Port, as I mentioned last night, because Bernard is in Ellesmere Port, so there'd be an outside chance. You probably have 600 quid invested in petrol. Not quite yet. The community relay race up some views, plus the cash for save Bella. I hadn't forgotten about that, Matt. That's there's a load of stuff that I've thought of, or that other people have suggested, and it's all in the memory bank for spring. In my mind, we're really going to spring into action this year, and once we just get enough daylight and the weather is just warm enough, then I'm going to go at it hammer and tongs. Every week there's going to be something happening. Oh God, we're doing corpse swap. Oh dear. If only Anna Friel was a bit chubby. Just change your taste. People are watching, people are promising to watch the Fiat 500 video. Thank you. Oh, what was the slightly too slim acronym? I was trying to think of that. It's on a video somewhere. A recent one, and I couldn't remember it either. I like a video every day, says Mustard. Our Monday video is going live when you finish. I'll enjoy watching that. My Monday videos will be going out on, I think, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think there's 3 videos out of it. Today was the Fiat 500. Tomorrow is going to be Steve again, bit of Fiat 500 and a bit of lunch and waffle. So that's Wednesday. Then Thursday, Friday, Saturday is Monday's vids. And then Sunday, if I can get the footage, will be another Kathmandu kitchen vid. And then we're back to Monday and it's starting all over again. Good idea, Matt. I only read the first 2 lines, but good idea. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, it's just waiting for spring, better weather, and the other thing about the better weather is it means I'll be using less gas, and that means I might have a couple of quid to do this stuff with. I haven't got the money to do any of this. I haven't got the money to drive to the auction, let alone buy a car from the auction. Spring is when it's all going to happen. I need to rattle through these because I was supposed to have finished like 45 minutes ago. Oh, right. Right, people are going to bed. They've had enough. Did the wine freeze? Yes. My top-down booster has actually been very good. I know it has, and I want one. And it's not fair that you've got one and I haven't. Oh, you have spoken to Sean. That's grand. Can I drive the 500 too? Yeah, I'm sure you can. Seriously, we were talking about it on Monday. Set up a day, a Saturday or Sunday, where you surgically extricate yourself from the yard, and let's meet up at Steve's, and I'm sure he'd be more than happy to let you have a drive, and we can do a 3-way vid. I think that would be good, and you can get content on the way there. That would be a good thing to do, and I'm sure you'd like him, and I'm sure he'd like you. Oh, have you really got one of these, Jimmy Quinn? You can drive my Fiat 126 bis water cooled. Jimmy, if you've genuinely got one of those, then I would love to drive it. What part of the world are you? I would absolutely love to drive that. Have driven one before, had one at the showrooms, but that's a long time ago. I'd love to do a video on that. What do you mean? Yeah, that's not correct. Yes, it is. Oh, it is cheaper to run than the diesel. Okay. Oh yeah, because diesel is more expensive, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, I was going to talk about this, Matt. Did you see that the ladies from Smalley with the Rover MG collection are getting grumpy comments from their neighbours or others in the area? I think it's on one of the Longbridge groups. I saw that, Matt, but what that was a screenshot from the whatever it is, the local police page, right? And and I went onto the police page. It's the Heaney and whatever it is, police SNT page, and the police said they'd done like a sting on that road because there had been lots of complaints about the vehicles parked. and the police said that because it's over 30 miles an hour, then by law, all vehicles parked there during hours of darkness must be parked in line with the flow of traffic, so that the headlights pick up the reflectors on the rear lights, and throughout the night they have to display a parking light, right? And they're going to be enforcing that on this stretch of road. Now, who the hell parks up? Now, I knew about facing the flow of traffic because my next door neighbour, well, he's retired now, but took early retirement, but he's a policeman and he picks up on stuff like that. I knew about that, but I didn't realise that if it was more than a 30 mile an hour road, then by law, you had to have a bloody parking light showing throughout the night. But basically, that thread on the police page, it just turned into everybody having a go at the ladies and going on about this MG Rover collection and it shouldn't be allowed, and they're a blight on the landscape and this, that and the other. So yeah, I did see that, but I looked into it a little bit more, and I was going to actually put some comments on it to wind the arseholes up, but it's too late now. I need to eat and get to sleep. Right, that's it. I've caught up with the comments. I can go, and so can you, and we all should. It's a ridiculous hour of the morning. There's some good stuff at the end here that people are talking about, and we will talk about it at the beginning of the next live, because we do need to start planning what we're going to be doing in spring, and we need to be putting some of these really good ideas into action and making sure that they happen. I want to hit the ground running in spring. Like I say, the weather's not really right for doing stuff now, you know, so, and yeah, once the weather warms up a bit, I'll have, not a huge amount, but I'll have an extra 40 or 50 quid a week, which will put fuel in to do something on a, something extra on a Sunday, and that'll make all the difference. Anyway, I am now going to bugger off, and so should you. Oh, balls. Oh, well, that went well, didn't it? I'm now going to bugger off, and so should you. Yeah, that's what I meant to do. It's not difficult. Thank you for tonight, my loves. Thank you for being there. Thank you for your company. Thank you for loving my pants. Oh, staff curry tonight. Unexpected staff curry. I'm a happy boy. Oh, sausage and mash for lunch tomorrow.
Mr. George Roger Boaty. Mr. Roger Boaty, Mr. George Roger Boaty, Mr. Roger Boaty, Mr. George Roger Boaty.
Name's Roger Boaty. Mr. George Roger Boaty.
See you tomorrow, 11 o'clock. Be there or I'll track you down and sit on your heads. Stay safe, stay warm, sleep well, ping, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day tomorrow, my loves. Catch you soon. Pissing button's not working. Oh, not another ending live stream. Not